I'm winging it, and I don't actually have much to talk about. I'm trying to figure out. You're gonna have to bear with me. Uh-oh. That's how you do it. It's gonna be quite boring. Can anyone see this? Well, if they can't, I'll see if I can see myself. I should have thought this through. Dead air. Oh, there are people here. All right. I think. What's up? I don't have any topic whatsoever. I was kind of bored, and I thought I'd just come on. But I want to do something a little different. Um, it's my friend Airborne. He's been doing this call-in thing where people get to call in. So I figured, why not open it up to let people come in if they'd like to, and just to chat. I don't have any topic of conversation other than distraction. I've noticed I stopped my Facebook account a while back. Can y'all hear me all right? Anybody? Nobody's saying anything, so I'm just assuming. But and I noticed how much more free time I had, just in such a better mood. Like there's no real. We've made friendships with people from all over the United States, really in the name of Christ. That's really where the friendships have stemmed from. And but most of social media is very negative, very negative. And I'm starting to bite off more than I can chew with different things I'm involved with. And I'm going to be doing a lot more schooling because I've got some projects of my own. I need to learn how to run programs. And it froze up on me. So, you're my neighbors. Give me a second. If anyone, nobody's saying anything. So, oh, what's up, boy, Mitch? What's up, bud? Um, Look, I made the paper. Shared this with some friends. They ask opinions, but this was because I was on Facebook. But then the picture that they chose was when I was trying to make myself look like a gnome. That was actually a joke. When I had a long beard and I was trying to look like a yard gnome, and for some reason they chose that one. So that's kind of funny. Give me a second, and I am, because I'm doing this here, I'm going to have to manually. Hang on. Oh, man. Guest. Light a guest. All right. How do you put? Oh, that's right. That's right. So I can't type. It won't let me type. Doing it on my phone, and I can't. All right. Anyway, this may be a little bit boring, but I figured because I was talking about taking some personal time, I would open it up if people wanted to come in and ask me about whatever. I have far fewer people than Awaken normally does, but I'll open it up. Oh, I'm gonna punch in just in case any of you haven't seen it. This was Born Again Veteran did this for my friend Photohelix, and I'm in it, but what to do? I mean, it's for John. So if just check it out, even if you don't want to donate, your prayers are worth more than any Babylonian coupons. Yet, we do live in a world where we have to use them, and so that would really help take some of the stresses of life off of his family, because going through surgeries and anything to do with medical is just extremely expensive. So, but your prayers are, thank you, Voynich. Your prayers are worth more. GMZ M8QI2NC. And I think that's it. QIN. Sorry for all the dead air. I don't know what I'm doing. I normally roll better as a guest on somebody else's show. Hello, John Gonzalez and Robert Cameron. I'm seeing some new, not everyone's new, but Miss Beth. How you doing? Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to talk about. I just, yeah, I've said that a million times. If you want to come in, you can. If not, you don't have to. I just figured if anybody had any questions, I've got like a million things running through my mind every day, and I worry about how to put it together to make it presentable and understandable. And I don't know, I was hoping that maybe given some of my videos, if anyone wanted to ask something that I didn't talk about, now's your opportunity. But you can do that in chat as well. But I have noticed all the time on social media and everything, there's some projects. There's a large project that I'd like to work on, and it includes some music videos and editing and all that. And I have to learn a lot about recording, because when I was 18 and 19 and in the world, I knew a lot about it. I'd been in studios before and seen the process, but it's been so long, and I don't think I'll be able to do it on my computer. So I'm gonna have to do some learning on my own. And I'm not leaving YouTube, but I haven't really been making that much content in the past year anyway, because I don't want to just make videos to make videos if I don't have anything to say. Maybe that's kind of what I'm doing now. But because I'm already involved in some other things, yeah, social media is a waste of time. Imagine how much time we waste not in prayer because we're worried about the world. That's a clever tool of the enemy, to be in the world and thinking of the world the whole time versus looking up to the Father. But I've already run out of stuff to talk about. Yeah, maybe the sneak attack thing isn't the best way. Well, people show up when they see it, right? Yeah, and John, I know John appreciates your prayers. I had a question. No, I can't remember them. Tried sending you an email. Did you get it? I don't know if I got your email. My inbox was flooded from the point that I made the past video. It was just flooded with different things, and then other people, some people locally that were emailing me, and then all the junk mail and all that. So I have to go back and look, but I have like 139 emails that some of them are just comments and that, but when it sends you an email for every comment, I could have missed it. I don't know if I got your email. What's up, Truth Puzzle, New Kingdom? So I have well, I'm trying to think. I'm worried about what's up, Disciple of the Messiah? I worry about not explaining something right that I've been going over. I've kind of talked about. I mentioned it in the last video that since 2017, I've noticed people be acting differently towards me when all the demonic things started to occur, and then I recognized them and repented of some of the way that I was living. there was more of a hatred and a disdain by some at random. It could be in a Walmart and all that. Uh, but I've been through some situations where I realized that it could be a spiritual manifestation. Sure, that's an aspect of it, but another aspect I've seen are those with intention, with dark intention, and I don't want to just say that because I don't want to plant the seed for people to be on the lookout for someone. I don't believe that there's no hope for them. I don't know why there are people that are interacting with something of the demonic, and from my personal experience, it never seemed very ritualistic. I know that there are satanic rituals and covens and all that exists, absolutely, but from my personal experience, I didn't see that. And what I did see were people within what I call an ancient knowledge of something demonic. Yes, that's my email, John. Um, and I don't fully understand it, and I don't know why they're under those power, whether they choose to or whether something's happened with them where they're serving underneath these powers. But and I'll say this a million times, they're not to be treated with like hatred or something, or like I'm better than you. I mean, if you read in the stories, of the Bible, or even see some of the people today that think that they're more superior because of their lineage, or they're making the claim that they are the chosen people of God, it doesn't work that way. And so I don't say this to say go out and find them and point the finger. I'm just saying from my experience, I have had people that I had known my whole life that apparently had a plan and a purpose from the enemy that they needed to get done. And God delivered me from that. But it's something that I will never forget. And I don't know what the answer to them being able to realize that their freedom in Christ, because many of these came to me in the name of Christ. Uh, some sang in churches, some were lifelong friends, and they're I don't know. They had capabilities that I didn't know were possible. Um, it's almost as if like the astral projection and those sort of things is given over to that, like they just understand it. Now, I'm not even talking about New Agers. I'm saying people with abilities that if you want to call it that, but they didn't believe in New Age philosophy, so how are they able to just do those things? Um, and so I say all this because we're at war with powers and principalities, rulers, thrones, spiritual wickedness in high places, not people. Yet there are people that are interacting with some of these things. I have seen it myself. But we're to pray for them. We're not at war with them. There are many different elements to it. I don't completely understand it. But I do know that in all of those experiences that the person usually had to take a back seat to this demonic, the spiritual aspect of it. When they were trying to get something to happen, they weren't physically doing it. It was almost like they were taken back as they expected something to happen. So we're not at war with them, yet there are people interacting with stuff. Anyway, I don't know. I see I got 16 people. If you're coming in late, I'm planning on taking some time off of social media and different things. Hang on, sorry, I'm doing something. I'm planning on taking some time away from social media, the computer, everything, to get some stuff done that I need to do. My attention span has been divided, and Facebook, there's no fruit given from Facebook. We're all, we can learn things, but then we just kind of give out the same information that we've learned and in our own little circles, and it doesn't go anywhere. Um, there are masses of people that I know in my family that are nice people that could care less about a Save Our Children post. They could just care less. They're not going to repost it. Long as it's not their kid, fine with. They'll never say that, of course, if you brought it up in conversation, but it's not at the forefront of their mind. So something that serious when and I'm not saying let it die because some people do seem to be waking up. I'm only saying that a lot of time is wasted on social media trying to give out truth, and then people are just like, eh. So, um, I plan on taking a lot of time off, but that's not it. That is not the link. But because of that, I decided I was gonna try to do like Airborne Saint's been doing with that letting people call in. Uh, and if y'all would like to, hang on. Now let me copy that. It's open to it, or you can just continue in the chat because I'm just like rambling at this point. I had a question now I can't remember, but yeah, John, if you'll send me another email or something, if you do have a question, I will try to get back to you. But I think maybe you did email me, and I was flooded with stuff. Sorry, I didn't email you back, but. You never know the enemy person you pray for today could very well save your bacon in the future. Plant those seeds, bro. I don't know. I don't eat bacon. I know what you mean, though, man. I'm just messing with you. But I tell you this though. A lot of people were praying for me that hurricane that came through. Because it swelled up at the last minute. I thought I was prepared. That's why I was in the paper because they were asking opinions on storm preparation, and I was trying to put a seed of hope. But yeah, I got some food. I got stuff. But the way that storm swelled up at the last minute, the amount of damage done to Lake Charles, which is kind of in the heel of the boot on the other side. I'm closer to the toes. Um, the prayer from everyone and people checking on me and me praying, please and praying for them. I don't wish it on them, but that storm, the outside of the storm, if Hammond's right here, the storm was like right here. So we got some wind, we got some rain, but you talk about a covering and prayer from folks. All glory to God. I was just on the outside of it, so we got very little damage, just leaves blown all over. But Lake Charles got hit pretty bad. I did not expect it to do that much damage. I wasn't even worried about it until I went to work and I saw, when I checked the weather right before I left, at how much larger the storm had gotten so quickly. But you can't prepare for that. Something that damaging, you kind of have to just leave. But okay, brothers and sisters, always in my prayers, and the rest too. Thank you, Truth Puzzle Life. I yeah, I really didn't have anything to talk about. I don't mean to be so boring. The things that I've been going over in my head is something I have to. You can't get it wrong. It has to be handled with care, and so it's probably something that we produced. But hey, misspelled spelled. It's all spelling, bro. It's all spells. Let me see. They say I have the gift of gab, but when I don't have anything to talk about. Anyway, I don't want to bore y'all. I worried that maybe there were some things brought up in certain videos that are you familiar with the Bezora prophecy and any tips on self deliverance? I don't know. Bezora. I'll look it up real quick. I don't know how to spell that. No time spent was like mine. Well, thank you, Truth. Zora, I'm not sure what you mean by self deliverance though. Zora, because no one can deliver themselves. I don't really think any person can deliver another person. It's all from Christ, and even so, when I was experiencing really dark like demonic stuff, I was doing a lot of drugs too. Had an open door, and even though it didn't all go away, it wasn't like a light switch. It didn't just flip off and oh, I'm cured. Like the spirit of addiction was always there. Um, and every time that I messed up, I'd like it came back. Like those things were there immediately, even with the most minute amount. But I think that it was in that crying out and in faith that it was God's grace that allowed me to not be devoured basically by whatever that was as many times as I messed up, even after I knew what could happen. Um, and that's it's weird. It's like it's a spirit of confusion to kind of make you forget how serious it was the last time, and then you take something, and then it all shows back up. And so it was through the grace of God and Him turning my heart and recognizing something evil, meant for evil, meant for a much larger picture. It's not just people. In my case, it was drugs. I don't know exactly what you mean by self deliverance from whatever that the thing may be. It doesn't have to be drugs, but it's seeking God with all your heart, and it really does create a new person, completely new person. If you look at a different, it, there are certain testimonies that you can see that it's really easy to see that the person has stopped doing something harmful to themselves or addictions or something like that. Then there's other ones where they're just like, well, I'm a new person, and so we don't know what that means, but the person themselves understands that they're completely different. So maybe you mean something a little different, but I don't I don't think there is any self deliverance. I don't think it all comes from Christ, but it's like the closer you get to Christ, the more you realize that deliverance is there. You don't need a preacher, a priest, or any other person um, that has like just this huge ministry that they say that's all we do is deliverance. Like it's about your relationship with the Father. I hope that answered your question, and I have no idea. There's a city in the on Wikipedia called Bezora, but I've never heard of Bezora prophecy. I'm just unfamiliar with it, and I would be careful. I don't know if this is one of those things, but there are many Gnostic texts out there that it's just kind of, it's almost as if people wrote them to try and confuse those on their search for Christ. Um, the book of Judas depicts Judas as a friend of Jesus, and Jesus is saying, you're doing this for it paints him like a hero. And the Bible says that that the devil entered into Judas. So it's a complete, like right then and there, it's contradictory to scripture. Anyway, I don't know what the Zora prophecy is. I've never heard of it. I'm just saying be careful when you find new things. You know, search out a matter to see if it be true, but I don't know what that is, so just be careful. Sorry I missed a lot of y'all. What's up, Ren and Bav and Angela and Adam and Lori? Did I miss anybody else? God gave me a special intimate encounter when I was much younger. I look back and ask myself, how did I fall away from where I was? Proof there is a loving God who forgives. Yeshua is my rock. Yes, sir, I agree. Love you too, Ren. What's up, Miss Vina? And I'm trying to go back up because I missed a lot. What, Jeff Ray? What were you asking? Where's it at? Was that about that bizarre thing? I don't know. Anyway, I'm out of stuff to talk about again. And see, Airborne makes it look so easy. Anyway, I got dead air. Yeah, it's Miss Beth. I mean, you can find a lot of information. I prefer things to be kind of told to me, because if I read them, I don't always comprehend it. I mean, I like reading scripture, but when I'm trying to use my imagination, sometimes I'll just let the TV read it to me. And I do read the Bible. But there's certain, like if I'm really thinking about the if I want to lay there with my eyes closed and think about the flood, or it's easier to get a depiction to me as if I'm kind of relaxing and letting someone read it to me. But maybe that's a bad example. Some things it's easier comprehended when you see it on TV. Some of us are visual, right? So we go to YouTube to see a how-to video, but it can also become a distraction. With how do you call in? You you click on that link and it will take. You're gonna have to the mute the show though, because it'll go back. It'll what's the word I'm looking for? It'll it'll bounce off of it and make a really messed up noise. But you click on that and you can come in. How has the spirit of truth changed you? Well, seeing. Oh well. Well, you can do it on your phone. You can do it on your phone. But to answer your question, truth puzzle life, I realized that the world is nothing like the way that we're taught growing up. I don't even. There's a concept that the antediluvian age stopped after the flood, and I understand what they mean by some of the things that were going on, but they're trying to get back to as it was in the days of Noah, and I see that so clearly. I mean, real deal magic, nothing like that. What's on the Disney Channel? That's a tool to get us to reject it on the TV, because if it doesn't look like it looks on the TV, it might even go over your head. I've seen impossible things, and I realized that this isn't a joke. Like we're at war with spirits and everything that hates God. So yeah, it's completely changed my life. But I haven't gotten a tattoo since 2015, 14, 15. Right. Yeah, I got my motorcycle accident and ruined some of this before, long before I turned to Christ. But I'm not making an excuse for it, because I'm not one of those people that's like, well, I use this to um as a witness, thing. But it does say, bleed with me and you'll forever be my brother. So what Prophecy Exile seems to have to do with gang stalking, spiritual persecution. Those being gang stalked are being protected by God until the second coming. I mean, I don't disagree with that. I just have to see more of what that's about. But yeah, I don't know. What year did you wake up? 2017. I was doing a lot of dope and blaspheming God every time that someone said, "What about Jesus? What about God?" And then those shadows in the peripheral of my eyes started to get a lot stronger. And then I saw some of the sober people communicating with them. Um, and I thought, that's impossible. If this is just my brain on drugs, and how does that guy who has never done a drug a day in his life talking to it, and he's talking to it in such a way as he's trying to hide the fact that he can see it? And then I realized, not all at once, but um, if you look at the checkerboard, right, and the ones that were involved in the pharmakia, the ones that were encouraging me to do the drugs, like that whole culture, the cool kids, whatever you want to call them, and the ones that were against it and would be kind of hard on me, and seemingly didn't know each other, were communicating. Clearly, there's like that gang stalking element to it, and at the time, I'm seeing people losing their lives. They've taken their own lives because they think it's a government program. They ain't no, why would the government be after me? Like really, I didn't even do my hair before I started the show. What's the government want with me? Um, and so I realized there was a spiritual nature to it as well. Um, spiritual war. All right, I'm gonna let you in, Miss Beth. Um, add to stream. Hello.
Hi,
How's it going?
it's doing really well.
Yeah. How was
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you're new to Are you a subscriber or?
I am. And I subscribe to all of you.
Oh,
I
okay.
woke up, oh gosh, they had me on opiates for about 20 years for a spinal injury. And
Yes,
I
ma'am.
took myself off from about 7 years ago. And I've always walked with the Lord, but you do fall away. Like, you know this, Landon. Um, But yeah, my family looks at me so differently, and I am an entirely different person, and yet I'm the same.
Right. Different personality, but I mean same personality but different person. Like I noticed like the the perverse jokes and things of that nature that I thought were funny back then. Are,
So distasteful.
right, right. And it's like,
Yeah,
but there's the spirit over you where it's like you have pleasure in unrighteousness, so it doesn't bother you. Um,
exactly.
right. Yeah. I struggled with opiates myself, but they always just made me colder, like because they do kill pain, but
They do.
they kill the spiritual aspect of your living being, and you'll
They
care less.
do. They do. I had raised my first son until third year in college, and ended up in a different marriage and had a second son 23 years later.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
um, my first son is so different from my second son. My second son was raised with the opiates in my system, in my soul, and it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
Yes, ma'am. I get it, but and yeah. Sorry, I was distracted.
No,
It
you know, distractions can be good.
right,
Yeah, yeah.
but how is So how did you? When did you sew? I mean, I'm just curious because I didn't. I don't think I get a lot of comments from you, or
I
you're
I was always shy, and of course, I went to therapy for 2 years coming off the opiates, but they had me on psychotropics too,
right.
and I came off everything. And when I walked through her door, she said, "Beth, we have to try to find your voice." 2 years later, she's saying to me, "Beth, we have to put your voice back in the box." So, my voice is out. So I am reaching out a little bit.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It sounds fine. I mean, I can't tell that.
Oh, no, 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 no. My voice, my inner voice. You know how you have
Oh,
Esau and Jacob. Jacob's the interior voice, and Esau is the exterior, goes with the sword, and yeah, that kind of voice.
yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard that.
That's my interpretation of the birth of the twins.
Right.
That's how I see it. Is Esau being born first and being born of the sword was the exterior person.
Right.
It's like a dual personality. They're trying to dumb down people that have dual personalities. I think we all have dual personalities. And I think that
Well,
one's more dominant over another.
well,
So
there's
I'm sorry, go.
definitely no. I don't mean to interrupt you. It just it brought a lot of the things that are put out in the mainstream media is like the monarch programming and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There are extremes done ritualistically in the SRA, which is satanic ritual abuse, where they will try to break a person into different parts so that they can put um, sub personalities within them. But I also believe that there are just in TV shows and stuff. Um, they're trying to plant those seeds as well. And
Exactly.
like I'll give you a good example. I have a family member that sits at home, and maybe this doesn't explain it quite well, but it'll at least explain the spirit of what the TV does to us. And they sit at home all day and they watch the ID channel. And the way
Mm-hmm.
that the ID channel narrates is it's very judgmental. And she killed her husband because he was a bad man. Or it's they talk like that, and it's very judgmental. It's the way that they narrate it. And after maybe 90 days of watching nothing but the ID channel, it's very hard to have a conversation with this person. It's extremely hard to just talk with this person because they're so judgy, like
Yeah.
in any little thing, and it gets to a point in exhaustion where you're just trying to you're like I like that red color, or whatever. And go ahead.
God love you for saying that, because I have my sister that lives in the same town here. She sits and watches news all the time.
Right.
And I don't know if you read one of my comments, but I have no television, I have no internet. I have a telephone because it's necessary.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, and I cannot carry on a conversation with her. She is so judgmental of me and thinks that I am so just the opposite. And I am, but it doesn't mean that we can't love on one another.
Right. Um, but yeah, yeah. And
Mm.
I'm gonna try and keep it to an hour. You're welcome to stay on if no one else wants to come in, but I was just gonna tell everybody I got about it did kind of fly by. I spent most of the first part of that completely silent. But if anybody else wants, you don't have to. But I I don't know. I've been thinking over all these different things that I need to get out there. But I have to get them right. And so I thought maybe I'd let people ask some questions, but they can always go back to the video and ask. I'm trying to catch up on the comments. So you're from Rhode Island?
No, I'm from Maine.
Sorry. I have
Don't apologize.
I have one friend I'd consider friend from I believe he's from Rhode Island. And, cool guy. But I know a different state. Saw the black shadows also out of the corner of my eye during extreme Adderall abuse. That's usually where it starts. Adderall's, yep. Biting on the skin. Been sober almost 2 years now. Yeah, it'll scare you sober. Sure takes the fun out of it, thank God. But I realized.
Ask some of the people if they get poked physically. I get poked.
Yeah.
I get hurt.
Yeah. Well, I would. That's kind of where it started with me. Things messing with me, or I was punched one time, but I don't think. Yeah. I have to save that for one of those productions because I don't want to mess it up. But I realized if you look up the molecular structure of Adderall and methamphetamine, they're the exact same thing. There's one molecule different. And if you were to convince a people, what I call the temple of medicine, if you were to convince people that your kid has the symptom, so you distribute basically this pharmakia all over the world, and if you had access in the spiritual realm to something, if it's think of it like a sorcerer who's trying to get someone to take a potion so that you have a one leg in for the world, and how powerful a tool would that be for those that are against God if they could convince the world not only to give them money for it, but to take their potion. And I know that there is a demonic element to it, but I also have seen, again, human beings trying to use the situation to their advantage. They had what's the word? An agenda for this. It wasn't just like come take this thing. But yeah, Daniel says yes. I don't know if you could see the comments because you're in the stream, but yeah, he said yes. Yeah, I was kind of attacked many times in 2017, and but it's weird how God used that, because when you feel the presence of something evil, and you feel the hatred coming off of this thing, and the despair and the death, and I think for like maybe a day I struggled with why. Like why? Like when you can feel it that strong, but why me? It's the same with like the government program thing. Again, like why? And when I realized that it was, I had one believer years later explain it to me about kind of hatred by proxy. Those things that are against God hate you because you're of God. So it's like they hate God that much, they will do whatever they can to get his children to fall into sin so that they can be destroyed. But when you see something and feel the presence of such hatred in people that seem to see it clearer than you have, I don't like using the term joy, but it's a satisfaction, a sinister satisfaction, thinking that something is about to go down. And it kind of lines up with that hatred.
Did you feel that a year ago? The heaviness, the dark?
Well, I mean, it's periodically.
Periodically, yeah.
Sometimes I've seen things repeating a lot though. And even though I was just talking about getting away from social media, as everything has went down, I've seen hurricanes stacked on top of hurricanes from the previous years, because you can see your your posts from the previous year. I have seen marches from police. It's like it lines up on the exact date that an officer shot someone, um, and then the march like the next day. And it's things have been repeating just strangely like that. Whether it's
Yeah.
weather, whether politics, whether it's civil rights, issues and movements and marches. Um, on the exact dates of some of these riots in 2016, they were tearing statues down in New Orleans. And I was seeing the post of these, and I'm like, it's just interesting that it's calendar to the date, whether it's a hurricane that's killed, a lot of people. I think the anniversary of Katrina was yesterday, maybe 2 3 days ago.
Was
Um,
it really?
and and then there was another hurricane on the date of the one that just went through Lake Charles, on the exact date, 61 years, that killed 500 people. It took the same path and everything. And so maybe
Mhm.
that's a poor stretch, right? I mean, that's not, it's interesting, but that's something somebody could go, that's a coincidence. But when I do look into, when I do look at my shared memories, they seem to be lining up with things that happened, um, a few years prior, or last
Mhm.
year. And I
Mhm.
find it interesting. It does seem to be getting more violent. It seems to be getting more extreme or more disdain, and I mean on all of this, not just not one part of the spectrum. It
Mhm.
seems to be a little bit heavier, a little bit darker every every year, and it's just interesting that it's actually getting down to the actual date. Um, I'm missing so many of those comments. I'm sorry. What's up, Mr. Flyer?
Maybe
Uh,
Mr. Flyer would like to talk for a little while.
yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm. What time is it?
Thank
Yeah, I
you,
got.
Landon. Thank you, dear.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. It was nice to meet you. And you be blessed. I'll keep you in my prayers.
Please do,
Yes, ma'am.
and you mine. And if you do speak with John, photo,
Mhm.
um, yeah, I dropped my knees for the man.
Yes, ma'am. Well, and I
Okay.
know he appreciates it. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye. It's a little bit tougher to do this on the phone. So yeah, that was nice. It was nice to meet you, Miss Beth. Anyway, I'm gonna try and keep it short. I would say, unless one of these like dying to come in. I thought y'all had more questions. Uh, but I I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, long story short, if you missed the beginning, like the first 2 minutes is dead air. Oh yeah, yeah. The reason I named this show was because of Mr. Plain. It's an inside joke, but the reason, as I mentioned in the beginning, so just in case for the 4 or 5 people that came in late, I'm taking a break from the internet. I'm involved in 3 or 4 different projects. One takes up a little bit of my evening, um, a few nights of the week, and then there's another one that takes up some more time during the week. And I'm working on a larger project, about 30 mini projects for this one big project. And I need to do some studying, and I have to. It's very technical, and my mind is artsy. It's not technical, so I have to get away from social media or just watching, uh, just staying on YouTube all day. Um, you know, that fear of missing out. I love my little community, but I think that if I take some time off and I go do this, what I would call schooling, um, and learning how to produce some of these things, it would be edifying to the spirit. And I think everyone would enjoy it. And I can't do that unless I learn how. So, many projects. Um, the music, two turntables and a microphone, man. Come on now. So anyway, I have to do some learning, and I'm gonna be stepping away from YouTube for a little while. But maybe I'll try this again in the future, uh, or something. Thank you for calling in, Miss Beth. And I appreciate all of you. It's good to see all of you. And yeah, love y'all. Be blessed. Please keep John in your prayers. Um, and that's it. God bless. All right. Bye. Oh, every time.